Almost every ancient human culture across the globe preserves sacred traditions of massive humanoid beings coexisting alongside early man. This 16th century map highlights the region of Patagonia. In 1520, explorer Ferdinand Magellan documented an encounter on the South American coast with a tribe of people reaching 11 feet in height. Native American oral traditions from the Choctaw and Comanche similarly describe a preceding race of fair-skinned, red-haired giants who dominated the Americas long before the arrival of modern tribes. This photograph shows Tiwanaku's megalithic ruins in western Bolivia. These perfectly fitted massive stone blocks provide physical evidence of a construction scale defying standard history. These 400-ton precision-cut stones were transported across a 15,000-foot mountain range. Their internal right angles and drilled holes suggest technologies far beyond primitive human capabilities. These physical anomalies and widespread legends point to a forgotten epoch of human history where giants walked the earth. Mainstream science operates on a materialist worldview that protects the standard evolutionary timeline. This perspective dismisses giant lore as hoaxes or genetic defects like Marfan syndrome. Marfan syndrome is a genetic disorder affecting connective tissue, often resulting in an unusually tall, thin physical build. Powerful institutions that curate public history have acquired anomalous skeletal evidence, only for those remains to vanish from the public record. Pop culture theories have attempted to fill the gap left by science, claiming that extraterrestrials from other planets were responsible for building these impossible megaliths. Both the mainstream scientific consensus and the ancient alien hypothesis rely entirely on a material interpretation of the universe. Giant lore records humanity's spiritual devolution, preserved through an esoteric lens that looks beyond biology. In esoteric traditions, Earth was a quasi-physical, astral realm. The first man existed as a massive, ethereal light being, connected directly to divine intelligence. This realm was also inhabited by the archons, or Nephilim. These powerful entities ruled the cosmic chaos and grew jealous of the first man's spark. These metaphysical forces manifest as planetary bodies, with entities like Saturn representing the rigid boundaries and material dominion of the archons. This visualizes the esoteric interpretation of fallen angels mating with human women. Archons forced vast divine consciousness into dense animalistic bodies. This spiritual compression trapped the first man in a cage of biological urges, severing the connection to divine wisdom. This fall into matter turned infinite spiritual giants into limited physical prisoners. To maintain control, Earth underwent cycles of cosmic cataclysms, massive floods and plasma events that reputedly reset the planet, driving humanity deeper into material density. With each consecutive reset, the human form physically shrank. We lost our immense height, our extended lifespans, and our memory of the quasi-physical age that preceded the cataclysms. The violent scarring of the Earth's surface remains the physical aftermath of these dimension-shifting events. Massive, unexplainable grid systems and geoglyphs, like this one in Nazca, are the lingering physical fingerprints of our giant ancestors. The impossible ruins we often attribute to alien visitors belong to our own human lineage. Ancient religious texts like this Hebrew scroll encoded spiritual and genetic manipulation through complex allegory. Discovered in 1945, the Nag Hammadi Library contains early Gnostic texts that provide the context to translate these allegories into the history of human consciousness. Gnosticism was an ancient religious movement that emphasized personal spiritual knowledge over material authority and orthodox teachings. The biblical warning against strange flesh refers to the unnatural merger of eternal spirit with a biological animal shell. We are the Nephilim hybrids. Reading ancient texts as literal history hides the realization that our current bodies are the hybrid cages those texts warn about. The modern push for extraterrestrial disclosure acts as a psychological operation to make humanity feel small and isolated in a random, infinite universe. The esoteric worldview deeply recognizes that the entire physical universe actually manifests from and revolves around human consciousness. True power is found by bypassing the ego to reconnect with the higher self. Recognizing our true history of spiritual devolution is the first step toward awakening the dormant giant consciousness still waiting within our physical shell.